Hey guys, we got a ton of information about what we're getting with episode 5. So for this video, we'll be going over everything that we know we'll be getting and how to prepare for it, as well as examining all the new campaigns that will lead us right into episode 5 too. I'd also like to ask everyone to keep in mind that I'll likely be making a video or more per topic that's about to be mentioned, but for this video, I just want to make sure that everyone has a base understanding of the new features. Now, I'd like to start this off by first going over the Road to Episode 5 campaigns, as we can go over them pretty fast, and they will definitely be a good start in the preparing process. On top of that, this way I'll be able to reference back to them later in the video. If you by chance saw my short update video the other day, there may be a few things that I will be mentioning again, but it will all be pertaining to the Road to Episode 5 in general, so it bears repeating. First up, we have 2 login bonus periods. The first will be from September 16th to the 23rd. And every day you log in, you will receive 500,000 EXP worth of tickets and 30 star gems. If you log in on 5 different days between those 2 dates, you will be eligible to receive an Augment Transfer Pass and another 90 star gems. The second login period is from the 23rd to the 29th, and every day you log in between those 2 dates, you will receive 1 Tokyo Gold bonus key, 15 grinders, and 5 Lambda grinders. Logging in on 5 different days between those 2 dates will also get you an Augment Transfer Pass. Now, as far as the rewards are concerned, you can pick them up at the visit phone immediately after logging in. Next up, we have some urgent quest boosts and bonuses. Completing any 5, 10, and 15 urgent quests by September 29th will respectively reward you with 30 star gems, 50 star gems, and 1 AC scratch ticket, and these can be found at the visit phone after meeting each requirement. There's then a 100% EXP and rare drop rate boost to the Deus Esca urgent quests that will last until September 23rd. And this covers Maker of New Epochs, the Rematch, Singer of Genesis, and even Deus triggers as well. We also now have a limited quest boost going on that will grant a 100% EXP and rare drop rate to the new limited quest Breakthrough Training episode 1 through 4. Furthermore, if you complete it up to 5, 10, and 15 times, you will respectively receive 30 star gems, 50 star gems, and a Glamour Post ticket, all of which can be picked up directly at the Visiphone after meeting the requirements. For the last campaign we'll be going over today, there is an enhancement event that starts on September 23rd and will last until September 29th. And for this one, if you enhance a weapon once, you will get 5 Scape Dolls. Enhancing a weapon 5 times will get you a Rappy Necklace. Enhancing a unit once will get you a rare drop rate 250% ticket. Enhancing a unit 5 times will reward you with a Dreamcast Mask. Affixing 1 augment will get you 5 100% Tri-Boost tickets. And lastly, affixing 5 augments will make you eligible to receive an evolution device, Blue Poyo. On top of all of that, it's hinted that we may get some enhancement boost as well, but it's not really explained when and how we're going to get them. I imagine there will be more information about this next week as this campaign actually rolls out though. So with the campaigns out of the way, let's get right into what we know we're getting with episode 5 and how to prepare for it. Starting off, we first have the emergence of the new and first Scion class, the Hero. Now, it still has not been mentioned what the requirements will be to unlock it, but we will either need to have the titles for getting a melee, ranged, and caster class to level 75 each, or we may simply only need to get the title that requires one to have any 2 classes to level 75. I'm assuming it's probably the latter, but at this point we just don't know. Anyways, the Hero uses swords, twin machine guns, and taluses, and really benefits from using all of them, as some of their PAs can transfer into other weapons PAs for seamless transitioning between all 3 weapons. Now, this does not mean you need all 3 to do well at all, but by having a few of them at your disposal to use at any given time, this really opens you up to a lot more playstyles, and at least in my experience and opinion, it makes it a lot more fun too. Also, keep in mind that Hero uses these weapons in ways that other classes that use them don't, so you might end up liking some of these weapons that you previously didn't like on other classes. So I urge everyone to go at it with an open mind and try them all out. The last thing I'd like to say about Hero is that I will be releasing a few videos for it on episode 5 launch day that will cover its basics, its skill tree, and all of its PAs. At this point though, I'm just waiting to see what names might change before putting out these videos is all, as I'd rather get everything correct the first time and not have to worry about confusing anyone with different terminology. This now leads us into the next big update, which is a level cap raising to level 90. And I really have no idea if this means we'll be getting 85 on episode 5 release, and then maybe 90 halfway through episode 5, or just 90 right at the beginning. But we'll just have to wait and see. Either way, the best way to prepare for this, and to prepare for leveling your hero, is to first make sure to be taking great advantage of the login events that we just covered, as they will be giving up to 3.5 million EXP worth of tickets, and lots of Tokyo Gold bonus keys as well between the 2 login periods. And speaking of keys, make sure to be doing your recommended quests every day, as they have a chance of rewarding you with keys after completing them. You are also guaranteed a silver bonus key for completing your daily ARX missions every day, and a gold key for completing your ARX weeklies, and this can be done on every character you have too. Now the only thing to worry about with these is to watch out for the expiration dates. Though I have been told you can still exchange expired silver keys for gold ones, but I myself have not tried this yet on the global version. Also, if you need to get some classes to 80 and don't want to spend your keys just yet, the new limited quest actually gives some pretty good XP if you use some boost along with it. So just keep in mind that's now a good option to use to level outside of AQs. Moving on, we'll now have the ability to copy Levska Ring's effects into 12-star units, and we'll be able to do this at the cost of some Meseta and some Lambda grinders at the NPC Dudu and Monica in the shop area. Now when you do this, you will not lose the ring, however the unit and ring will become unsellable. That all being said, this is a good time to make sure you have all the Levska rings you need, and it's also a good time to look into getting some 12-star unit pieces if you don't already. For those who are new to the game, or are still unsure of what gear you should be using going into Episode 5, I'll be going into weapon and unit progression in just a minute or two. Next up, we'll be getting something called S-Grade Augments, as well as the ability to transfer them to other weapons. Now, you can think of these like potentials, but in the form of an augment. And some weapons can hold different types and different amounts of these. And up until now, there hasn't been much build diversity outside of what you had in your skill tree and weapon potentials. But with these, now is the time where we can start to actually tailor our gear to suit our playstyles a bit more. And it's also a new way to make your weapons a lot stronger with very little effort. With Episode 5, there will also be a new area called Omega, and this will have a new enemy type called Supernaturals, formerly known as Demons on JP. With Omega, we'll likely see a new exploration zone too, which was known as the Enchanted Forest, though I'm not sure if that name is going to stay the same. Either way, this map will be used to farm for weapons and materials for future weapon upgrades as well as other things. Omega also brings along with it a new quest type called Buster Quests, which are essentially a tower defense mission which eventually turns into you going on the offense and attacking a demon castle. Completing them will reward you with Buster medals, which you can exchange at an NPC that will likely be near all the other exchange NPCs upstairs in the shop area. Now the Clesis or Cleasis weapons that we'll be able to get from this exchange can then be upgraded to Chevelle weapons at Zeeg, and those will then be one of the required weapon types that will be needed to upgrade to future weapon lines too. And while we are on the topic of new weapons, Rising Weapon Badge 4s will soon be a thing with Episode 5 as well, and these can be used to exchange for Judas weapons, which we will also need alongside the Chevelle weapons we just mentioned, along with another weapon type, to create Lumiere weapons. So without going too far down the rabbit hole, Buster Quest paired with the new Rising Weapon Badges will likely be one huge step towards some really good 14-star weapons and some real progression. The last two things that are worth mentioning are of course the Episode 5 story, but that also goes hand in hand with the new feature, Dark Blast, which lets you take on the form of different Dark Fowls, and you can unlock more forms by completing the story. Now, there are other ways to unlock these forms too, but you are required to meet certain conditions, such as clearing certain quests or killing certain bosses. Anyways, once you get access to Dark Blast, you will be able to use it once per quest after you have done enough damage to unlock its use. At the beginning they will each be a little weak, and you will have to level up its skills and abilities to make it stronger, and I will probably be needing a video per form to go over all the upgrades, PAs, and skills, so for now I'm just going to leave it at that. I'd like to now spend this last bit by going over what weapons and units you might want to look into to be ready for Episode 5 content. I'd also like to get ahead of everything here and say that because we will be getting new gear soon enough, you might not want to be investing too much if you already have okay gear. And if you've been playing for a while, then you probably already know most of what I'm about to cover, so this last bit may not be for you. So for weapons, the current logical progression is working your way up to a Nox or Sigma weapon, then use whatever decent 13-star weapon you can find. The current collection sheets reward you with plus 30 Revulsios, and that's a very nice start. And the new Fornus weapons are actually pretty good too, and are dropping very frequently from the ongoing limited quest and can also be found very cheap on the market as well. After that, you'd want to aim for a Raven or Nemesis weapon which can drop from the ultimate quests, but don't go spending a lot of money on them if you don't have a lot, as again we're getting new stuff soon. Now for units, if you're new, you should start by looking for a cheap Varder set on the market. Then work your way up to a Brisa or Psyche set. After that, I would highly suggest looking into getting a 12-star unit set so you can copy Rings effects into them with Episode 5. Unfortunately, there is actually no easy way to get 12-star units right now unless you have any leftover Rising Weapon Badge 2s, or 3s to turn into 2s. And you would then use those 2s at the Rising Weapon Badge exchange to get the Circuit Ray set, which can then be upgraded to Union at Zeeg. Outside of that, you can try farming for them in Ultimate quests, but the drop rate is very rare. Some other 12-star unit sets you can work for though are called Xenesis and Clifford, and they drop from the Deus Eska urgent quests. And to give you an idea of what separates all three of these, Genesis gives more HP, Clifford grants more damage and PP, and Union is a balance between the two. The cool part about these three sets is that you can actually mix and match pieces as well, as there are no actual set bonuses, as each piece comes with additional stats right on them. There's then the Austeria set, which some may refer to as Austere, and this drops from the Profound Darkness that can be found in the Barren Blossom Urgent quests, but this is an extremely rare drop as well. Now, if Episode 5 rolls around and you still don't have 12-star units, it's not the end of the world, and you'll still be okay with the Brisa or Psyche set. There will also likely be events and new ways to get newer units soon enough anyways. And that should just about do it for what to expect in Episode 5 and how to prepare for it. Just like PSO2 Global's Episode 4 release, I imagine there will be a few more features added in that were not mentioned yet, and I'll be sure to cover those within a day or so of Episode 5 dropping. So until then, I hope this helped, and take care.